Good morning.
Good Monday morning.
Good morrow.
Good Monday morrow.
Oh, it's a Monday. It's a Monday. We just had a team meeting and I committed to having a 10 energy today and a 10 attitude today.
It is Mindset Monday. Monday, Mindset Morrow. Monday
makeover. If you started the day tired, make it over.
Ooh.
Give your attitude a makeover. Pa, pa. Now I'm happy. You guys energize me 100%, and I am thankful for that. It's been a while since we've sang a song. You ready?
Oh, a good morrow song.
A good morrow song.
Oh.
Good morning, Crystal, Fran, Mel, Lauren, Brittany, Michelle, Veronica. Are you singing?
You're
with
going
me?
fast.
Teresa, Courtney, Kelly, Christina, Leslie, Brenda. Wow.
Looks like you guys are either
Jenna.
Looks like you guys are. Oh, Mel. Did we say hello?
Mel already took a power nap.
Oh, damn. Okay.
Time you wake up. Well, good morning, good morning, good morning, and good morning.
Yesterday we experienced our very first Florida rainstorm. Like what they really talk about. Ever since
Like
we
when you
moved
wake
here.
up and there's a bunch of palm tree leaves
like
on the ground everywhere.
like branches on the ground. I'm like, really? Was it that bad?
And well, it was like thunder and lightning and a lot of rain.
Yeah.
Anyways, grateful to have a roof over our head and safety within the storm. outside.
Congrats, Kelly, for completing Burn Zone 1. Here's to Burn Zone 2. Okay. So
Boogie has something he needs to announce.
do I know about his announcement?
He made a statement last week.
Oh.
And he said he wanted to make an announcement.
Show
this
them.
week.
Show them what he wants to talk about. He's really occupied right now, as you guys can see.
Boogie!
Right there.
What do you have to say? What happened this week?
Got a call about sister.
What kind of call? What did they say?
Sister has a virus.
Sister has a virus and she needs to get healthy before she can come home to us.
Sister did not come this weekend.
So
mamas had to have a talk with me.
I feel embarrassed that I said she's coming and she's not here yet.
Yes, so I'm going to type up another post to update everyone, but you guys.
Yesterday I read a comment that somebody made on one of our YouTube video that we post from these. These all go onto YouTube. If you're watching this right now live or you're listening to this on podcast, these all get uploaded to YouTube, and so you can watch, or if you miss it, you can always watch it there. By the way, if you're there, subscribe. And somebody made a comment, great content, skip to 15 minutes if you want to hear about the actual topic. And I was like, not sorry. So,
I mean, we fill you guys in with our lives.
yeah, and who's upset?
So speaking about filling them in, let's fill them in because we had to transition on Thursday, our agenda, which we don't do very often. Just, cancel an episode. Normally we know,
Especially last minute.
Yeah. Normally we know when we have to miss episodes due to whatever is in our schedule, but we had a very last minute, high priority, high importance engagement that we had to cater to.
It was time sensitive.
Time sensitive. We were not willing to sacrifice a full night of sleep for that anyways, because then shame on us for not practicing what we preach. So something had to give. And hence why we didn't have a Thursday episode.
It made us just as sad as you guys.
But, you know, since we fill you guys in with our daily lives, I'm not sure if that's good or bad. By the way, I'd love to hear from you guys. Like, do you think that's good or do you think that's bad? Either way, I'm
gonna share it.
We're gonna do whatever is authentic to us. But, you know, and to transition into this morning's topic, where we'll be talking about, you know, doing something that scares you regardless of how you feel. You know, this weekend we did something that took us extremely outside of our comfort zone. Every day we do what we can to take ourselves outside of our comfort zone, but we leaned into something that took us way outside of our comfort zone this weekend.
And we thought it actually wasn't going to be as uncomfortable as it was.
Right.
Because it's something we had experienced before, and we had a terrifying experience
the last time,
which was good and bad, because the experience we had in this the first time was could have been embarrassing. Yeah,
kind of
embarrassed.
Kind of. I was embarrassed.
Yeah. And then, you know, going into it, so that means like, oh my gosh, I could be scared because the last time, this is what happened. But because this happened, we learned from it, and we're going to crush it this time. We're going to just knock it out of the park.
Next time.
No, this was our thought.
Oh, yeah.
Going into, we're going to knock it out of the park.
We're going into it with experience. So if you're taking notes, the first note that you should take is that whatever scares you is a lot scarier on the first time as it is other times. Because then you go into the experience, however scary it is, with more experience. So you have something to look back at.
So for those of you who don't know, there was Grant Cardone was hosting a virtual or like an interactive live boot camp. And part of that boot camp is a pitch off where you have a certain amount of time to pitch whatever it is, an idea or business or whatever, to Grant and a panel of people judging you. And in order to qualify, you have to first submit a video. And then that video they have to deem as the top 10. And then you do it live. And what had happened was we were supposed to have...
So let's begin with Thursday and why we missed the episode.
We had to make that video and it had to be submitted by a certain time.
Yeah. And we had less than a 24-hour notice. Our entire day on Wednesday was jam-packed. Our last appointment ended at like 7:30.
We had to rearrange.
So we were like, okay, well, now we have to put together a script and basically like memorize it, record it, edit it, send it over. Our Thursday is already packed, so something had to give. And we're like, okay, we're going to wake up 1 hour earlier and...
We had to cancel the show. We had to
we had to transition one appointment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we did this, and then at the last minute, Grant, we were supposed to have between 3 and 5 minutes.
Okay, wait.
What?
So we sent everything over on Thursday, and then we qualified to be top 10 going into Saturday. Now it's Saturday evening.
Saturday evening when the live version of this is happening. Now, you know what? Like, there's one thing to take away from this is like, it's easy to get to focus on what you didn't do well when there's a lot of things that you did do well. First of all, we landed ourselves in the top 10 for the second time. He's only done this twice. We've been top 10 in both. Mm-hmm. So that's a huge win. Huge win. There were almost 100 submissions. There were over 300 people who had an opportunity to submit a video. Only 80 something did, and only 10 of them got picked to do it live. That's already a massive accomplishment. The year before, or the 6 months ago when we did it, there was even more people that I had to pick out of the top 10. Already a win, but it's easier. Somehow we just gravitate towards the losses or the lessons. And we had to revisit the fact that, hey, we made the top 10 both times. That's awesome. Okay, so now it's Saturday night. We're about to go live. We've got all of the 10 people in one separate Zoom room. We're all in a separate room. They're looking at us, all 10 of us in one Zoom room on a big, massive screen, and everybody else is all around them. There's like at least 8,000 people. So we were told we were going to have between 3 and 5 minutes.
We were prepared because we know if you fail to plan, we plan to fail. We were sharp.
We were sharp, and we were prepared so much that we knew it was going to take us between 3 minutes and 3 minutes and 15 seconds, depending on how fast or slow we said everything. We nailed it. We literally rehearsed it probably like 60 times. Mm-hmm. Walking around just during the day, like during the breaks, we were memorizing things, but then putting our own. Okay, great, we're ready. Grant goes, nobody goes over 2 minutes. You have 2 minutes max.
Wait,
if you go over 2 minutes by 1 second, you're disqualified.
So this is what he says. He's like, there's this thing called life, and in life, there's no rules. And I'm going to press on you so hard, harder than you've ever imagined. You guys thought going into this that you have 5 minutes. You have less than 2 minutes. So we were like, okay, we're planned, we're prepared, and we know that we're going to do this. For us, it's always about, even if you fail, be authentic. We're not going to read in front of the screen because that just looks inauthentic. And we're like, okay, well, now we have all these ideas, and how do we compress our message to
3 minutes to less than 2? A minute of talking is a lot of shit. That's a lot of things to cut out. So now we're like, okay, in my mind, I don't know what my face did. They said they could see everybody's facial expressions and demeanor change. In my mind, I was like, okay, challenge accepted. Okay, cool. Simple, fine. I got this. We just got to figure out what to cut. And that's a mindset thing. It's like life, like shit happens all the time. Like barriers, storms, unexpected events, all the time. Shit's hard. So in my mind, I'm saying, okay, we got this. We can handle changes. We do it all the time. We pivot all the time. We're good at this. We got this. We start looking at what we got. We're like, okay, what's unnecessary? What are we going to cut? Okay, cool. I'm good. We got this. First guy goes, nails it. I muted the computer because last time we listened to everybody and got all up inside our heads.
And went last.
This is another note for you. If you're comparing yourself constantly to other people with different lives, different scenarios, different situations,
different experiences,
different environments, a different way of thinking, you're always going to look at the people who are better than you, and you're always going to feel like less than. So I chose, that's a note for you. I'm trying to relate this story to how you guys can apply things in your life. I muted the computer because I knew that the last time we did it, we listened to all 9 people go. We tried to start changing stuff, and that's what caused us to shit the bed the first time, if anybody saw it. And then, so this time we're like, let's just not listen to anybody. Let's mute the computer. Boom. We didn't even listen. All we did was turn the volume back on when he was done, and everybody was like, oh my God, mic drop. Grant was impressed. You could see everybody, Brandon, Pete, Jared, they all of the judges were like, oh shit, that was good. And they're like picking apart everything. And if that was good, I'm like, okay, well, I'm glad we didn't hear it. Let's go, game time. We know our thing, right? And I'm like, ready. 2 minutes on the clock. We decide to go next. I'm like, I'm scared as all hell. Why not? let's go. We're going to figure it out because we know what our mission is and we know how passionate we are and we know how we can help people. Let's roll. So we chose to go after that dude, who ended up winning, by the way. And they say 3, 2, 1. Sarit nailed the opening line. And I go,
you know what I thought? I was like,
nothing came out of my mouth.
You know what I thought? I was like, shit, did I miss a line? And
no,
and fuck us over again?
I was thinking, this is another lesson for you. I was thinking ahead to how I was going to say the other things later on and what I was going to cut out. And I forgot what I was going to say initially. It was like the easiest line I could possibly say. We believe that there is no amount of money that could buy the value of health. That is not a difficult thing to say. And I just froze completely, 100%. And I'm like, shit. I was like, how can I recover myself? And then I started like nailing it. And I was like, I don't even give a shit. I'm just talking out of my asshole right now. And I'm so convinced that this is awesome that you're going to forget that I just fucked up. Face got red, neck got red. Classic Erin. Oh my God. Then Jared's like, this was supposed to be redemption night, dude. So embarrassed. But anyways.
So key takeaways from this experience. For one, if something doesn't scare you,
or challenge you,
then it's not gonna make you better. In the moment, it feels like shit. But the reality is that our turtle shell got just a little bit thicker from that. And our skin got just a little bit thicker.
Sure.
From handling such a embarrassing experience. It's like when you know how you show up and how you perform and you didn't do your best, it's embarrassing. And it's a lesson. Or
your best at the moment wasn't as good as what you know your best can be.
Yes. And so many people, let's transition real quick to like weight loss or body composition principles. So like being judged whether by a pitch or whether you're on stage flexing your muscles and then you're told that you don't have enough striations in your body, or
your
that
lats aren't big enough,
or that your lats are not big enough, or that you're like the fattest one out of the lineup. Like that shit is embarrassing, and some people let that literally consume them for the rest of their life because of constructive feedback, which that's all it is. The reality is that none of us are perfect, and it's important to lean into scary situations because literally all these things are nothing but an opportunity. So, compress yourself against the wall, because what that does is mentally, just like, you embarrassed yourself afterwards, you are on so much fire. You're on so much fire because when you're so embarrassed, you're like, I don't even fucking care. I'm going to just keep going. However, here's the thing.
I already lost my load. Might as well let it out.
As human beings, especially when we're being judged, and we were talking about that on our relationship conversations, there's this thing that's called an impression. And once the impression is not being built up, then it doesn't matter how internally confident you feel afterwards because you've taken yourself to zero. On the receiver's end, it's just like, okay, next time. Work on it, do better, come back next time. But how many times, and you see this happen a lot in bodybuilding, people who just, especially women, who end up believing what, the judges have told them, though, bodybuilding is extremely political. They're very, very harsh. A lot of, the girls or dudes who go up on stage, artificially modify their body too. But let's say if you've been given, constructive feedback that maybe like your body fat percentage was a little bit higher, or you have some stretch marks on your butt because maybe you were overweight before and you've lost all that weight. Like, don't let an experience like that define your destiny. Use that as fuel to redefine your destiny. And just lean into your fears. And you know what? If you fuck up, at least be you when you fuck up. Because you know what? We fucked up, but at least we knew that we weren't like looking, our eyes were not looking like we were reading a script. We were us. So we failed as us.
I think we still did better than last time because we had so much more fire and it was so much like less robotic. I paused, I froze. I don't even know how long it was. It felt like an hour. I don't really know how long it was. But after that, it's like we ran out of time too. We didn't even finish. We totally ran out of time.
Yep.
But I had my moment of beating myself up. Sarit had nightmares. It's all good. Shit happens.
I dreamt about it last night again.
But there's a blessing in every situation. There's a blessing in every hardship. There is, I'll reference Ed Milet again. There's a podcast I was listening to last week. And he was talking about the same topic of like, there's a blessing in everything. And his dad has cancer. And somebody is like, how can there be a blessing in your dad having cancer? He's like, I now value the conversations I have with him more than I used to. That's a blessing. Now when he calls, I don't just ignore the phone call and say, I'll just talk to him later. Because I don't know if there will be a later. There is a blessing. No matter how difficult it may seem in the moment, there's a blessing. Over 8,000 people saw us. They know who Erin and Sarit are. We are unforgettable. If you go into the 10X community and you ask anybody, do you know the name Erin and Sarit? And they will say yes. Like probably 98% of them. That's a big community. That's a lot of exposure. Grant, Jared, Pete, and Brandon all know who we are. Extremely high influential, like very influential people. People who have achieved things that we aspire to achieve. Everybody now knows our mission. If they didn't know who we are or what our mission is, there's now more exposure to like, how can we achieve this mission to transform the lives of millions through the same movement, nutrition, lifestyle, and financial habits that have transformed ours. Now more people know that. That is beautiful. I don't care how red my face got. I don't care how red my chest got. I don't care how like painful it was for anybody watching who maybe felt embarrassed for us. We will not be forgotten. And now more people who could potentially use our help know that we can offer that to them. Yeah. And the proximity just it got tighter. So, in every single thing that happens, you learn more if you do it even if you're scared than if you choose not to do it because you're scared. They ran a practice, an exercise, a breakout room, where they broke out 4 people into each room. And each person had 2 minutes to do the same thing we did, but only in front of 3 other people. And so many people backed out. It's scary just to do something like that in front of 4 people. But you guys, if something scares you, there's a reason why it scares you. Because you know it's going to stretch you.
Oof.
And if it stretches you, it's painful. Then we run away. We either run away or we run into it. Run away from the fire, which is going to catch you at some point anyways. Or you run straight into and through the fire out the other side. or the storm. The rain's coming this way, you can try to run away from it. It's going to catch you at some point, or you can run through it the other way and let it pass you. And you learn a lot when you're in the storm. Something scares you, do it anyway.
You know, the truth is that those are the most powerful lessons.
Why?
Because that's where you grow the most.
Because why? It had such an impact on you, you cannot forget it.
Yep.
You will never forget. The more impactful it is, the more you remember, the more you learn.
Yeah.
If you trip on a uneven sidewalk and you just and you stumble, oops. By the time you go to bed, you're not going to remember that shit. If you trip, fall, smash your face, break your teeth, tell me you're going to forget about that experience. It's okay to get punched in the face. We were talking about this. I love getting punched in the face.
Yeah. So, you know, the question you have to ask yourself is, like it or not, like life is going to be uncomfortable. But you better develop the mindset of, you know what, if it's going to be uncomfortable, I will do everything that I can to learn and grow from it. Mm-hmm. And it's the ones who are willing to get uncomfortable, to learn and grow from it. I want to use another example.
Can I ask, if you make a comment in the chat, if you guys were at the boot camp or saw the pitch off or both?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, go.
You know, and I want to give you guys an example that some of you guys could relate to that. ENS Live. Our very first ENS Live. You had to get out of your own home. For some of you guys, it was your first time traveling since pre-pandemic. You had to put yourself, you had to get outside of your comfort zone to go to a new place that you've never been before. You had to get into outside of your comfort zone to be around people that you've never been before. And you had to get outside of your comfort zone to do things that were uncertain to you. It was a very uncertain weekend, but what happened that weekend? Everybody grew 1,000%. Because when you stretch yourself and you intentionally take yourself outside of your comfort zone, great things happen. Especially if you have the right mindset and if you have a support group. If you don't have a support group, then chances are that you're not going to have the right mindset. So if, let's say, I've heard so many girls who've bodybuilt before, who ended up coaching with us, they started developing, you know, like terrible body image issues and disordered eating patterns from a comment that a judge made on them. They didn't have a good support group. They gave it their all, and then they got shat on. If you don't have a support group and, you know, like you're being punched in the face, will it be easier or harder to get back up? And for those of you guys who were at ENS Lives, I think everybody cried at least one time. Everybody felt like they got punched, like probably stabbed in the heart. Or like mind blown.
With a love knife.
Yeah. Or like mind
dagger.
blown.
Yeah.
But what happened? Like your heart got warmer and your brain got bigger. Because you had a support group.
Can your brain get bigger?
Yes.
It
actually can.
You know what? This is the beauty too of, like, you know, all the things that we've done. Like, part of our support system are the 4 gentlemen that were judging us. They are part of our support system. Yeah. And the beautiful thing is they lifted us up right after like we got torn down. They were like, you guys, you know that we love you. You know that like we've seen you in person. We see how sharp you can be. We've like the people in this community love you guys. You know that. People saw us on stage at GrowthCon. It was a completely different experience. You know, and I want to shout out to Tawny Lamro, who was attending the boot camp, and she sent a message to me afterwards, you know, and she's like, the part that's most memorable is like, you know, if like be more natural like you are in espresso. And in my mind, I'm like, there's no pressure in espresso. You know, it's different. Like we show up for you guys. We know what our mission is. We know that you guys are loving this. You're not judging, you know, each word that we're saying.
Well, they could be, but it's different.
But it isn't intentionally like, I'm gonna pick apart everything that you say, and that's my job.
Right.
Right. It's like, the time isn't compressed. We talk as long as we fucking want. You know, And when you're compressed and you are trying to sell somebody an idea that has achieved a lot of amazing things that like, you know, millions of people know about, there's a lot more pressure, and it is difficult to not get inside your head. And so, you know, thank you for that encouragement. But like back to Sarit's point exactly is, you need, when you get punched and you fall down, you need somebody who's there to whisper in your ear, hey, I know that shit hurt, but let's go. We got to keep moving. That's how you get better. Mm-hmm. Remember that feeling, but get up. Come with me. I got you. Mm-hmm. I just got emotional.
Yeah. So, you know, whatever scares you this week, just lean into it, dude. Like, you know, if it's like a kick up to a wall and you're like, I've never done that before, dude, just fucking commit to it. Just commit to it. And, you know, one more thing about a support group, because we did that at ENS Live. It was so much easier to commit to that wall when there was somebody supporting you. Mm-hmm. You know? But either way, like, even if you fall like 1,000 times before you learn how to do it, who fucking cares? Just do it. Mm-hmm. Just do it. Just, you know, like, get courageous. If you want to be successful in life, and this is something that Grant says all the time, you know, have courage. You know, to be successful at anything, say that. You have to be courageous, because here's why. When you are courageous, you make the decision that scares you. In order for you to take yourself to the next level in anything in life, you have to invest your time, your energy, and your money. Takes guts.
And your talent.
Takes guts. So, but what if you don't have talent at first?
Everybody has a superpower.
Everybody does. Some don't know it.
Truth. Find your superpower.
Most don't.
Find your talent.
But that's why you need courage. So whatever it is, just be courageous. And whether it's, you know, like falling against a wall, or doing an extra push-up, or maybe, you know, you're in a relationship that's currently like, you've realized that you're growing so much and it's like a dead relationship. And for once, like for the first time this year, you're like, you know what? No, because I'm saying yes to me.
Ooh.
That's courage. If you wanna have a successful relationship, if you wanna have a successful career, if you wanna live a fulfilling life, if you wanna earn more money, if you wanna earn more muscles, you need courage. Nobody's gonna walk up to that barbell and PR something they've never done before if they don't have fucking courage.
And there's a difference between being courageous and being reckless. Courage is when you have fear and you do the thing anyways, right? Taking action in spite of the fear you may have around it. When you said kicking up into a handstand against the wall, I immediately thought of like, well, don't do that if it's not safe, right? Like if you haven't been upside down before, do the progression so that you know you can stabilize yourself.
Sure.
Don't be reckless. The
Sure.
difference between courageous and reckless is that one is more, like the immediate thing that I think about the difference of, and I'm sure there's plenty of differences, but one is calculated. The other one is just mindless.
Ooh,
Right, so if you're being
we can
courageous-
have like an espresso on that. Like the spectrum of courageous and reckless.
From courage to reckless. Yeah, and like in a relationship, if something means a lot to you, but it's not being respected, and you want to find a way to talk about that so that you can get on the same page, you can have courage to have a conversation respectfully about it, or you can be completely reckless and just like blow your top off your head. One is more calculated and thoughtful. Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
I don't know. There are some things for you guys. I would love to know what stood out to you today in this episode. And it would be cool for others to see what stood out to you. So if you can share on the Facebook group page, or even just share this video on your own Facebook page, your own personal page, with just like a little sentence or two about like what you learned today. When you write something out, you have a greater ability to actually remember it, and it will stick with you. So I want to encourage you guys, obviously, you're not obligated to do this, but to share this video to somebody who could use more courage, to somebody who gets down on themselves, they compare themselves to other people, to somebody who has not done things that they would love to do in life because they don't know what's going to happen because of it, or they're afraid that somebody's going to say something that is hurtful to them, but it would fill their soul. Share this on your own page, maybe tag them in it, and just write out one or two sentences about like this stuck out to me today, and for anybody it may benefit. I hope that you watch this, whatever.
And then if you're watching this on YouTube, please make a comment and tell us what stood out to you most. And if you're watching this on Spotify, maybe add that to the review, or just, share the podcast with someone. I said Spotify, right?
You said watch on Spotify, which isn't a thing, but that's fine. Everybody knows. There was one last thing I was going to say too. I don't remember. So it's not meant to be. But yeah, we really truly appreciate you guys. I hope that you learned something from this today and got a lot out of it. Every experience you have, there's something you can learn from, and there's something you can be grateful for. Both pieces are completely necessary. So find them both. That's all I have.
We love you guys. Thank you for joining us this morning. We hope that this added value to you, and have an amazing rest of your day, and have a courageous week ahead.
We'll see you guys tomorrow for Q&A day. Bye.